Namaste. My name's Julie. I'm here to talk to you today about addiction and how meditation can actually help with addictive behaviour. Now, although you might not think you have, most of us have got some form of addiction, whether it's to sweets and cakes, snacking, medication, alcohol. You name it, we've got something that we're addicted to. But addiction isn't just things that go in our mouth. Addiction goes for like addictive ideas and behaviours, so we can get attached to things. We can become obsessed with things, getting things right, getting things perfect. It's all addiction. But where does it come from? Well, there's lots of different chambers in our brain, of course. But the two main ones are the frontal cortex and the amygdala. Now, the frontal cortex deals with things like logic, making sense of things, fathoming things out, coming to the right conclusion, and actually being able to make the right informed choices and decisions based on those conclusions. But the problem is the frontal cortex isn't very fast acting, so it kind of takes a while to put things into perspective. Now the amygdala, which is about the size of a pea, the amygdala is really impetuous. It's like a child, I want, give me that. So it's really impetuous and it's really impulsive. And the amygdala is stimulated by fear, by joy, euphoria, and it springs into action when quite often there's no need for it to. So for example, if you are working, you're in a demanding job and you're hungry, your stomach's rumbling, and you know that if you have that snack, you have that cake, that big cream cake, that sugary cake, it's really going to fulfill you and it's going to make you happy and you're going to feel really good after you've had it. And so what happens is you reach for that cake and nothing else matters, because what you are being told in your mind by the amygdala is that once you've eaten it, you'll be fine. But you need it. You need it to actually give you that sense of feeling good, feeling happy about yourself and about life. And so you have that cake. And then it's followed by feelings of guilt, I shouldn't have had that, I've put about 5 pounds on now. I feel really bad, my tummy's aching, I feel sick. I won't be able to have a good tea when I go home. But the thing is, that's because the amygdala springs into action. It tells you that if you don't have that cake, you're going to suffer. And so you must have that cake. It doesn't really remind you about the guilt and shame you feel after. And so the amygdala works really, really quickly, really impulsive, and it sort of doesn't give you any sort of time to rationalise things. And in this time, while the amygdala's working and jumping to all kinds of things, your frontal cortex is working things out. But by the time that's got to a rational decision and a rational conclusion, you've already ate the cake. And it's the same thing with drugs. It's the same things like if you're an addict, if you use hard drugs, your amygdala will tell you, right, okay, you need that fix, because if you don't have it, you're going to die. And just think of all the pain that you'll go through. And you really need it because you know that that's happened before. And so what you do, you rush out to get that fix. But not only do you rush out with the adrenaline pumping, because you believe in your heart of hearts that that's what's going to happen. And that's how you're going to feel. And so what you do, you go and get your fix because it makes you feel really nice and it makes you feel really at ease and at peace. And then after comes the guilt and shame. Now, I'm not saying that meditation will help with withdrawal symptoms. It won't. But in those moments where you can practice meditation and reach that point of clarity where you can really think clearly, you can still use it. And so what does meditation do? Well, meditation can actually shrink the amygdala, and the way that it does that is it brings everything into a place of calm. So by focusing on the breath, I just teach simple meditation steps, which is where we meditate on the breath. So we just focus only on our breath, entering the nostrils and leaving the nostrils. And when we do that, it takes the focus away from the actual pain, the actual anguish, the actual worry that we feel. It kind of breaks the link. If you think about it like a bicycle chain going round and round, and it just keeps going the more you pedal. But if you take a link out of that chain, it breaks. And fear is like that. Euphoria is like that. And chasing them, the belief that these things will make us happy, is like that. So it keeps going around and around. But when you breathe and focus on the breath, it takes out that link. It makes you focus on something else, on the count of the breath, the feel of the breath as it enters the nostrils and as it leaves. And then what happens is you start to divert your thoughts to the breath. Your mind starts to calm down and you start to reach some kind of equilibrium. And then, whilst you're doing this, your frontal cortex has time to work itself out, so that when you come from that state of relaxation, of peacefulness, you can make rational, sound decisions. So that's how meditation works. So the next time you are feeling anxious, you're feeling hungry, you're feeling like you desperately need this cake, you desperately need it, or you desperately need that bottle of wine because you're so hyped up, you need something to help you unwind. Go to the toilet, close the door, sit on the loo, and just breathe in and focus on that breath as it enters the nostrils. Focus on it as it leaves, the temperature, the pace of the breath, how the breath feels while it leaves and while it enters. And focus on your chest and how it moves as you breathe in and as you breathe out. How your tummy moves. And just focus on the sensation of that breath and how your body moves with it as it flows in and as it flows out. And if you can, when you breathe in, slowly and gently, breathe in and count to 7. Hold it for a few seconds and be aware of the chest. And as you breathe out for 11, slowly. If you can't breathe out for 11, just do it for as long as you can, but really push that breath. And then breathe in again for 7. Hold it and breathe out for 11, just slowly and peacefully. And what that does is it helps you to refocus the mind. It helps you to calm. And when you come from that breath, when you start your day again, your mind will be in a much more balanced place. And you'll be able to make a decision about what you want to eat, what you want to drink, and even more so what you might want to do about your drug problem. So, whilst your mind is running riot, you can't actually think anything calm. So the beauty of meditation is bringing your mind into that place where it can relax and where you can actually focus on the day ahead. Namaste. My name's Julie Kelly. You can get my relaxation and meditation videos over on YouTube at Mind Medicine, Julie Kelly. You can actually find me on this website, which is www.juliekelly.co.uk, and that's Clear Mind Revolution. Or you can find me over on Facebook at Tenzin Dasal, Julie Kelly. Or alternatively, if you've got any questions about meditation or about addiction or about how the mind works, just drop me an email at juliekellymail@gmail.com. But for now, namaste.